submitted that as a feature request, meaning we have talked with ES&S and given them our concerns, and they have said they will consider it in the next release of their software. So right now, that's pretty much all we can do, and that is the thickest line is 0.006. And you can only do it from 0.004 to 0.006. No, 0.008 to 0.006. So we chose the thickest line, and it's also based on what the scanner can read. We can't change the font color within the instructions. So particularly,
See if she's still in.
yeah, I'm trying to
See if she's still in.
See it. Ms. Bowman? Hello?
Okay.
Just wait till she's still there.
We can't change the font color.
Okay.
We can't change the font color within the instructions, and particularly I'm referring to the column that is the straight party column. If there was a request that we wanted something to be in red, and we just couldn't do it.
The bold and red.
Yes, the bold and red. So the part that says is already bolded. We wanted it bold and red. Okay, we tried, and we just could not do it. We called the S&S, and they said that again, this is another limitation, so we had to concede to that.
Everything they're saying from now back is all reflected here in this report. Okay, that's all I want to.
Yeah, everything is here.
So
Just
you got the
highlighting.
answers, everything is being answered.
Okay. And in terms of, you wanted an additional space between the referendum. Again, we did the best we can. You could in implementing as much white space as possible, because on any form of document, white space is very important to increase the readability of the document, and we get it. However, if we would have put a space, it would have pushed everything down, and again, we're limited by the size of our paper. So what you have is our best attempt. We really tried to incorporate everything you wanted, and we understand that we probably got like a 95 or something. We'll take it for now, and we know for next time we will be able to try and meet those design requests if ES&S makes some adjustments. Finally, the process limitation we have again, as a result of the current software is installed, write-ins need to be processed by hand. We do not have the latest version of electionware. So yes, there is a new electionware that's out there that can process the write-ins and put it in an Excel spreadsheet automatically. We do not have that yet. So we still have to do it by hand. So going to my future recommendations, I recommend that we upgrade to the latest version between elections, so that we can do that going forward. Just press a button and it's all in an Excel spreadsheet and everyone's happy. And my other recommendation is that we develop a territory-wide standard for candidate numbers. And I bring that forward because I'm not sure how often you look at each other's ballots, but as the coordinator, I look at everyone's ballots. And the St. Thomas St. John kind of did delegate 1 and 2, and which, okay, everybody did. The governor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, fine. Senator at large 6 and 7. But then, for their senators, they kept going 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Whereas for St. Croix, for their senators, they started again with 1. Yes. So we just want to, I mean, my goal is to get everyone talking, right? It's not, it's one way, it's not one way is not a right way. Right? Yeah.
You did what?
So, again, my goal is to get everyone talking. You know, I'm a territory coordinator, so I work for both boards. I'm not affiliated with St. I live here, and okay, great, but I also could live on St. Croix next semester because I teach on both campuses, and so it's up to me. So, what I'm saying is, my goal is to get all of us on the same page. And I know sometimes we have these political rifts, and I live here, I live there, and you know what? In technology, that doesn't work. So, you're going to need to come to a conclusion at some point, so that the ballots are even and equal, and so that it doesn't propose so much of a coding issue when we're trying to get your ballots to work. When somebody's starting at 8 and someone's starting at 1, and it just, causes headaches for everyone involved. I did receive some questions from the board.
No, we go back to address that because again, when we started off, they said each ballot is a contest. And again, you want to apply some of the old rules. Nobody could find in Title 18 where the numbers are supposed to run sequential. And that was some of the issues. So in St. Croix, we decided each contest is separate. The primary ballot, each contest was separate. And so again, we're using stuff because it was done that way. At St. Thomas District, they stated that they wanted to run sequential, so that's why yours were done that way. St. Croix didn't have an option, so this was done the contest way, like was done for the primary. So each one is start as one. Also, the ballots are not, they are not coded by numbers, they use names. The results come by names, and that's what is done in every state across the nation. So eventually, we're going to look at whether the numbers need to be updated, how we do casting a lot on that going forward, with new technology and new information, so that's why it was done that way. So again, the ballots are read by names. The primary had 7 contests, we had 7 number 1, and it didn't cast a problem with results. So that's what. And it couldn't be found no way in Title 18 to state that it has to be done at sequential.
So I received some questions from the board, and I just want to answer them. One question from the St. Thomas. Yes.
Except that board, this board again, recently established
That's what she's saying.
Yeah, that's my recommendation.
It can be left to who's established.
Right. That's just my recommendation to you. At some point going forward, you decide what do you want to do. Okay.
Okay, I need to make a suggestion on that. That was one of my issues with the casting of rats also. Why don't we use the senator at large, start that one with 1, and if you have like whatever number, that's where the next number would be where you start for your district assembly. So if you have 4, for example, if you have 4 people running for senator at large, then the first 4 numbers will go to that contest, and then the district starts at 5 down. Everybody understand what I'm trying to say? Sometimes, like when I talk through them, I don't understand.
For next year.
Yeah, just start thinking about that.
I understand you.
Okay, so the question was, when is ESNS going to be here? And how long? ESNS is going to arrive on the Monday before the election, so that is November 3rd. They will stay Monday the 3rd, Tuesday the 4th, and Wednesday the 5th. Other question is?
Question,
Yes.
is that consistent with what you told us earlier?
Alexa is coming earlier. She's only quoting it. She's quoting her person that's coming over here.
Yeah.
But Alexa is coming earlier.
She's coming on the 2nd, isn't she?
Yeah, one is coming one
St.
day.
Croix and Toby. Is Toby a male? or
Toby
female?
is in there.
But she was quoting total.
Well, this is from the St. Thomas, this is from the St. Thomas, St. John district. I'm sorry, this question is from the St. Thomas, St. John. Okay, so that's okay. Another question from St. Thomas, St. John district. Are we using the sign-in books and are we using the e-poll books? We are going to do the same thing we did for the primary, which I think we used both, right? You have the sign-in books and the e-poll books. So nothing in that regard is going to change. In terms of servicing the machines, if you have any issues with your demonstration machine, please let me know because I will need to come in and do a diagnostic. And once the diagnostic is done, then we can decide on the course of action. But we just
Dr. Powell, we can tell you right now.
Yeah, I know.
We started,
yeah. So I need to.
and the demonstration machine and also with the
So,
e-poll.
yeah.
And we had it again.
Sense of being sprayed. What we have done that several occasions
Yeah.
that it keeps reoccurring. So I have a feeling like it may be.
Okay. All right. So those were the only specific
I have a
questions.
question.
Yes. So now I'll take questions.
Oh, okay. Thought you were closing on. What is the likelihood of the BSNS voting system act to change the outcome of an election? And if it can be done, how is this possible?
Okay. Well, this is a very delicate question because it's kind of like we don't want to tell the criminals that the back door is open. The cameras on, you know. However, I will say that every technological system has the ability to be breached. I mean, that's just anything. And that's just anything like every house in this island has the ability to be breached, no matter how secure, how many video cameras or whatever you have. So I guess the short answer is yes. It can be. How likely is it? It would require someone to have a prolonged exposure. So nothing can be done remotely. Okay, so then that's the reason why we don't have them on servers. A lot of, I will tell you, that you should feel good about your systems because a lot of the jurisdictions have their votes or their machines hooked up to the internet, and so they all kind of, after the tabulation of how we get the printout, they get it actually emailed somewhere and it can be intercepted. And we don't have that because I said no, we do not want any chances of interception. Okay, so I will say that there's a huge accountability built into the system, and any effort to tamper or hack into the system is easily identified. Can be easily identified. Don't say how, but
This is where you would come in. This is your total responsibility to be sure that things are on the up and up. That's the role you're playing.
yes.
Excuse me, may I? Ms. Coverdale, the reason why you're here today, I'm going to be honest, is because there were there were persons who were questioning your experience, your credibility, and your knowledge as to why you were considered the overall coordinator. And I would like you to explain to the board something about you that will make us feel comfortable in knowing that you are the head of the team to carry us forward.
Okay, absolutely.
I would like to inject that one of the members that were very critical, which is this chair from Sequoia, is not here, and I don't know if we can get that information to him, but he had a lot of concern as to.
That's why I'm asking her to express to all of us who are here, who we know he'll get the information from our abled reporter.
That's the taking the things on.
Okay, wonderful, and I greatly appreciate.
No, you can't.
I greatly appreciate the opportunity.
No, you don't.
Okay.
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 Before we can get, I'm going to look at your court.
Yes.
Until I get to the day, I don't know. I'm expecting that.
Nobody's going to know what everybody is.
Did I?
The expert of practice, just that nobody does that.
Right. Okay.
I appreciate and I look forward to the opportunity to sell you.
Okay, absolutely. Well, yeah, that's not a problem. You know, I live, breathe, love, sleep in everything technology. Again, I received my first technology degree. I have 3 degrees in the area of information systems. Okay, I received my BS in Information Systems and Technology from Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland, where I graduated summa cum laude. When I was there, I worked for IBM, and I worked for IBM in the capacity of an information systems technologist. Once I graduated from Morgan State University, I was recruited by Hewlett Packard. So we all know HP, the printer people. I was recruited by Hewlett Packard as the first recruit from Morgan State University to move to Atlanta, Georgia, in which I headed up their worldwide product ordering system. So my role there was to interact with the databases that if you wanted to order printers for your organization, I did the coding for that. I also did the database management and administration for that. Once I was at HP, I went on to receive my MBA from Georgia State University, which is my second degree, actually at the age of 21. So I will go back. A lot of people say, oh, she's a doctor, she's young. Yes, I am very young, but I'm also very experienced. So I went to college at the age of 16 on full academic scholarship. I received my bachelor's at the age of 20 and my master's in computer information systems at the age of 21. I am a very rare female young color technologist, and I'm very proud of that. After I left Hewlett Packard, I was recruited by Anderson Consulting, which is now Accenture. For those who don't know, Accenture is the largest technology firm in the world. not the United States, in the world. So here I am, Morgan State University graduate, a small historically black college, and I am toe-to-toe with Harvard graduates, Yale graduates, MIT graduates, running circles around them. Why? Because of my technology mind. And this is what I do. So I was called by my former alma mater, Morgan State University, and they mentioned that they wanted me to be in their first cohort for their new PhD in Business Administration program. And of course, I jumped on the idea to get my third degree for free. I have not paid for any of my 3 degrees. I had scholarships, I had sponsorships, and I also had not even grants. I didn't need to apply for a grant because what I had up here allowed me to be down here and helping you today. And so, the story goes, I went to Morgan State again, and I am actually, upon completing my PhD in Information Systems, the first black and female degree holder, doctoral degree holder in Information Systems from any of the 160 plus historically black colleges and universities in the entire United States, standing right here in this room with you. I am very honored. You have here in the Virgin Islands someone who looks like you. Someone who I am you. I might have been born in Brooklyn, New York, but that's an island, you know. A big island. Okay? And I am here not to be affiliated with anyone, not to do anything that I'm not supposed to do. I'm here because my people do not understand technology and it's not fair. And I'm here because I've dedicated my life to making sure that my people understand technology because I've been there with MIT. I've been there with Harvard. I've been there with Yale. But guess what? They get it. They get it. We don't. But I will make sure that just because we're on an 84 square mile island or 33 square mile doesn't mean we have to be second to anyone in our implementation of technology. And that's why I am here. So for anyone who wants to say that I am not qualified and that I don't deserve to be here simply because my birthplace says Brooklyn, New York, then I would beg to differ because I'm a trailblazer, I'm a trendsetter, and I'm a technologist. Me in all my glory. Thank you. How about the TBI? I got you warmed up now. I got to you. I'm here in the Virgin Islands because I was recruited by the University of the Virgin Islands. And I am a professor who resides on St. Thomas, although I teach on the St. Thomas and St. Croix campus. I recently wrote a new degree for the university. My degree that I wrote was a Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in Information Systems and Technology. Because upon arrival on the island, I found that we did not have a major here. How can we have one university in the whole territory and not allowed to produce any technology? So I wrote a major. And so now we have students who are now enrolling in a major, and so we won't have a problem finding technologists. I'm training them all. So for those who have a problem with the UVI students who are coming on board, they are the cutting edge. They know what's going on. They are being taught what I learned in the States, what I learned from IBM, what I learned from Hewlett Packard, what I learned from Accenture, which they don't have access to that, unfortunately, because of the distance. We have to bring that stuff here, and that's what we're doing. So I don't want you to discount them because it says UVI. I want you to embrace them because it says UVI. Because they are going to be the next generation of technologists that are going to catapult us into that technology. You won't have these issues in that selection. We're going to have it like this because we are working really, really hard now. So this is why I'm here, and you know, sometimes things happen for a reason, and I'm glad that the people who asked about me are not here because it will give you guys a reason to talk about me and let them know. And if they have any questions, they can ask.
Let me thank you very much for that extensive introduction. I'd like to get back to the past in a second.
Sure.
On the write-in votes,
Yes.
it says the process will begin immediately after the election and will be spearheaded by the territorial election technician team. The word spearheaded. How, as you know, the canvassing of votes after the election under local law is a function of force.
Yes.
So how when you say spearheaded, what role do you see board playing in that process?
we would just retrieve the votes like we did last time, so that's the spearheading. Retrieving the votes and categorizing them for you, and then you can do all your certification stuff like you always did. But instead of having one person do it, because it took how many days was the vote test? One person do it? The right, how many days did you do it? Yeah. Okay, so it took 4 days for one person. With the team doing it, it may take 1 or 2. And so we want to make the process faster. We're anticipating more write-ins, obviously, because we're not just going with the targets. So we have to have more people. So you guys will still do what you need to do. We don't want to make any decisions. We're just going to say, hey, here, this is what it says. You can categorize and say this person got that many votes or whatever, and we will give you all of that.
So, so when you're doing that process, this is my favorite word today. I'm in trouble.
No.
When you're going through that process of retrieving the writing votes to turn it over to the board, how does the board observe that process?
Whatever you want to do. So if you want to have a member sit there, that's fine. It really is just like retrieving anything off
I
the
understand
computer.
that.
Yeah. So that's not a
And
problem.
you understand that at the end of the day,
You're
to
accountable.
the greater community,
Yeah.
we have to say to the greater community, yes, when those writing votes were being retrieved by our team, it was being done under our observation.
I totally agree.
Not that we saw ourselves and having coffee and celebrating the election,
Totally
and you should not be on board.
Right. So
I'm saying
how
that
are
for the
you?
benefit of my colleagues.
And for the benefit of me, and I appreciate that. So what I would recommend is that the board, in my absence, come up with how you want to be present and whatever you want to do. If you want to have administrative assistants do it, or want to do, or rotate, or we can come up with a schedule, whatever you think.
I think you're just my trouble. You understand my
good.
trouble thought.
I do.
And the second one,
Give it to him.
all ratings will be processed.
I think a positive comment can be
We need to, I agree with you, by the way. We need to have establish a policy, because I am, after the fact, finding out that the process used was different in both districts
Right.
at the primary election. So, Madam Chair, we need to agree on a policy for consistency across the territory. So that we don't have one person thinking it should be done that way, and another person thinking it should be done that way. And last but not least, under testing and certification.
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong. The testing procedure, the machine testing procedure, as you said, would be done in such a way that would show that each candidate, after the process is completed, got one vote.
Yes, and that's how you know for certain that each target is working. So the first vote, we would do like this one, run through. This one, run through. And at the end, when the tapes print, every one of these, even as write-in, every one of these, even the write-in, will have one vote. It'll say 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, going all the way down. That's the goal. So we know that it was all counted.
I am pleased because if you were to say employed in the primary deliberation, I was concerned that the certification procedure, the testing and certification procedure of the machine didn't reflect that result.
Right.
That's okay. Thank you.
I have 2 questions from the audience, if you don't mind.
Oh,
Let's share them with you. And one is, what is done with a malfunctioning machine during election day?
okay. So if there is a machine that malfunctions, we are notified here at Election Central, and there are technicians that are assigned to your school or your voting place, your polling place. So if there's a malfunction at Sibley, we would send the technician who is responsible for the Sibley school. They would go, diagnose it. If it's a problem, I go. If I'm here at the island, so I canvass all of the locations. I visit to make sure everything's okay, and if there's a real problem, I go directly to that one. So we do have people who address them right on site.
Okay, then there's another question. probably would be chastised for doing this, but because the public has never granted an opportunity to ask, so I was asked to ask these questions, and that's why I'm doing it. The question here is, will any board members handle any retrieving of jump drives? How are the jump drives going to be accounted for? Who has the responsibility for the jump drive during the course of the election process?
This is the process as I understand it, and this is a discussion that I've had with the board members. So when the machines are certified, the jump drives will be sealed into the machines, locked, sealed 1,000 times, as you've probably seen. They will go out, the jump drives will stay in the machine during the whole process. There's no reason for them to be removed or taken out until the voting is closed. Once the voting is closed, the responsible judge will take out the jump drive and bring it back with them to the election central in their tamper-proof bag. Upon returning, it will be received by a board member. When the board member receives it and verifies where it comes from, it will come to me. And then it will be put in a machine and processed further.
Thank you.
I have a question. And it goes back to the technician, if anything goes wrong with the machine. How many technicians will there be available? Because primary, we had a situation where one of our voters, this was at the Hoppenart, left without voting. Up to now, he's still, very upset about the fact that he didn't vote because the machine was not working and the technician took so long, hours, and I was there. He never got there until very, very late, and frustrated, he left. So I would want to know how many technicians you're gonna have and how quickly can they get to the polling booth if there's a problem.
Well, I would say I wouldn't use the primary election as a standard because, as you know, the weather was not great, so I think that's an anomaly. It could have taken somebody a long time to get there if the roads were not great. So I wouldn't base it on that. We have 5 technicians here in St. Thomas, and we have 5 in St. Croix. I believe there was one that was just added, so we have 5 in St. Croix. And they should be, trained for a good day. If it is, then they should be more than fine to get where they are, because they have zones, right? And so they are, let's say their zone is like Christiansted, and anything around Christiansted, that one technician might have 3 or 4 locations, and they just rotate between there. And then someone's out in the west, and they rotate between them. So I definitely wouldn't base your judgment on.
And those were used in the primary.
Yeah,
I have to run, but I have a comment that I would like to suggest. Again, what we have seen out here from Dr. Probably is a whole lot. And I think Valado wanted to close up the going out to demonstration. I think, I'm not sure if you got funding to do this. We need to do a presentation in the media, on the TV, maybe going over a lot of what Dr. Tobel has said to the public, the straight ballot, how to do it, whatever needs to do it. We need to get that out there for quite a while. So at least it would help the process and help people really understand it. But that's a lot of changes, and I, like you, I think we should close it out. But if we get that out of the way, we have a lot.
The deputy sent out a notice saying all the spots she has, so that's something she can do.
Okay.
This is an example of the bag. I mentioned that the jump drives come back in the bag. So this is the bag. The jump drive will go in here. It's only accessible from the inside. And then the tapes go in here. And these come back with the judge. They will be handed to the board for processing and check-in. And then they'll be handed to me. And I'm here in a big room, and you can see everything I'm doing. And the board's here. And TV cameras like this. So you don't have to worry about anything. This is where it all will happen. A similar process will happen in St. Louis.
And that's the exact same way that the primary jump drive was received, locked in there. So all the persons who were saying that our chairman took it and took the other and placed it. What could have been?
Thank you very much.
Our member, Ms. Bowling is on there, yes?
You finished?
Didn't have anything.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Are we gonna hang up? The cameras are allowed, the cameras has to be.
Okay, so basically.
No, no outside.
Give a question
That's
from the
outside,
writer.
there's no outside cameras in color. No.
One conversation.
It's a lot, it's not.
Yes, everything related to it.
It's all going to be Thursday.
Yes.
Now, the pending litigation, Mrs. Fox, you going to, under the
No, we
Republican
want to talk about the
Party?
Republican complaint first before she leaves, just an overview, so we need her to do anything or say anything like that. So we went into the Republican complaint, you had a sample in front of you about the write-ins. And then what I did, you have a copy of the write-in results from the St. Croix district and the St. Thomas district.
I don't have any, is this paper here?
Yeah, that's the write-in. Then the letter just to highlight for the areas were
Madam
No, she's
Yeah,
going to
I-
go over this part of the Republican Party.
I just request, I'm good with the reporter, I just request that she signs the document and for our records and that's it. You can finish it. Good.
All right, so I basically.
next thing on the agenda. So
We're looking at, you have a form in front of you that says petition for recount, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody has that? And it's from, Herb Sharma. All right, he's a petitioner. Got the cover this one is.
So
Have a discussion on this.
technologically, they want to see all of the Republican ballots and look at the write-ins, and this is a simple process. Whenever you grant, you say that you want to move forward with this, then we can just retrieve all their ballots and all their write-ins and give it to them in a file and let them look. But basically, this is stemming from last time, again, like I just said, we just counted the write-ins that were filled in. And they're saying other people just wrote them in, they want to see all of the write-ins.
And you can give that to them on a jump drive.
I can give it to you to give to them on the jump.
Well,
I wouldn't
but
do
it
that.
can be done.
Oh, yeah, it's a simple process, very simple. So it can be done, so if that's something you want to do.
For the Republicans only.
Yes, for the
So
Republicans.
they
only.
have,
They have all their stuff. So that's something that you vote on, just let me know, and we can do that.
okay,
Motion, no, she's,
that's up to you. I'll second it.
It's all
Member Bellario, motion.
It's all
So that they could,
Okay. I can tell you right now, Member Bellario, motion.
Yes, Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion that we approve that Dr. Coverdale provide us with the Republicans' ballot so that we can give it to Mr. Shamba in order to satisfy this request. I so move.
second.
Moved in second, any opposition?
I oppose.
Opposition?
Yeah.
Member Ross?
I consider the request frivolous and waste of my time. I'm looking at, the law says somebody can ask for a recount. We need to sit down and make, whether the recount will make any sense. It's going to change the outcome of the election. What I'm hearing, somebody want, because somebody misspelled their name, that we give that person, but that's all that. The ego trip. request is frivolous, it's not gonna change the result of the primary election. Everybody who run and had a right to vote, probably in the territorial committee. All right? This is not even an issue for this is an issue for public office, party office. You know, I object. I think we should reject the request and so notify the person who asked for it.
My concern was, is Coverdale, is that going to be an extra,
Extra cost?
an extra cost under the election system?
What should be coming for that day to do is to provide us a report.
And then how much we pay for that day? How much you get paid?
$250.
How much?
Then probably Mr. Sherman should pay for that.
Ask him if he would be willing to.
Good, that's all I got.
Let's make a motion.
There's a motion on the floor.
The motion's on the floor.
Let's vote, yes or no, it doesn't bother me. I mean, I just
Motion
want to get-
member
I just want to
George.
get Chair.
Excuse me.
Madam Chair. Just for the record, I think the St. Croix District Chair did respond to Mr. Schomburg, and he quoted the title 18, section, about recount. And the recount states that in 7 days after certification, people, any party or whatever could request recount. So he told him that he was out, the deadline had already passed. So I'm just bringing that so it's there for the record. I know that the chair, Republican Party counted the report that the supervisor sends to them. My requirement is 10 days after certification. So it's two different timelines. So again, that, I'm just letting you know that a response did come from one, but we need to send one from the joint chair, because he did address the joint and both district chair.
And the section is section 629.
629.
Yes. All right, roll call on the motion.
Member Bashota, member Bashota absent. Member Arredondo, member Daniel absent. For the Georges, member Georges, no. Member Lydia Hendricks? Member Hendricks, no. Member Wilma Marshall Santo? Member Monsanto? No. Member Turu Washington? Member Turu Washington absent. Chair Alicia Wells?
No.
Chair Wells, no. Member Liliana, Member O'Neill? Yes. Member O'Neill, yes. Member Albert, Member Brian? Member Brian absent. Member Lisa Harris Moorhead? Member Harris Moorhead absent. Member Roland Mulligan?
No voting.
Member Mulligan abstain. Member Rupert Ross?
No?
Member Ross, no. Member Glenn Webster?
Not just no, but no.
Member Webster, no. Member Raymond Williams?
Absent.
Member Williams absent. Chair? 6 nays, 1 yea, 6 nays, 1 abstention, and 6 absent.
Okay, the motion is
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Member Ross.
I appreciate that motion as well. Just for my colleagues' information, because if it happens in the future, it should be correct. Petition has to be notarized. And that's the notarized document for the petitioner. And most importantly, the petitioner must believe that the recount of ballots cast would affect the district, would affect the nomination, the election of one or more candidates voted for at such primary election. I submit to you that any recount of what we're going to have to do would change the results. And that's why I consider it to be civil. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much.
Well taken, sir.
All right, moving on.
Madam Chairman, I point of information, and I appreciate what Mr. Ross said. And I just want to make sure that when we leave here today, that this has been taken care of, and that we will tell Mr. Herb Schomburg that the issue is dead, stop Exactly, I didn't want to use that word. But I think that we need to come up with something that we can tell Mr. Shambam that, you know, stop doing it, because he's been doing this from day one.
And process, not timely.
Stop giving everybody email. Madam Chair.
Mrs. Fox will write him a letter and send him,
Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair.
and section, little section.
Sorry, I don't get too emotional. As much as I would like to throw him under the bus and keep him there.
That's not a good.
He's entitled to appeal on decisions of the court.
Well, let him go.
I just want that to the record.
Let him go to court, but as far as, my opinion is, as far as we're concerned today, Mrs. Fox will be directed to write him a letter and says, you know, it's done. And then we can move forward, correct?
Yes.
And for the record, this is being done, quorum being present at the joint board.
There.
The original document you received was not
Six,
an official
one,
document of the state court issue.
Motion?
Motion, Member Valari?
Madam Chairman, I would like to make a motion that all further demonstration of machine be ended by October 15, so that we can prepare for the general election. I so move.
That's the point of information, that's good.
Why is that obstructing the general election, like closing off demonstration?
Well, because, and I'm glad that you asked, because we are going into a big general election with new technology, new training section, going into early voting, and these demonstrations are falling on the shoulder of a few of us who have to do all of them. And I think it's very unfair when the 7 members cannot participate in the general demonstration. So just to make it, you know, fair for everyone, we shouldn't be out there demonstrating all the way to the end. And that's my feelings.
I second it.
Our secretary is.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, we don't have a secretary.
So we need to pause for 2 minutes.
Excel. Can I take the roll call?
Did you write it? You wrote the motion and the motion papers?
Well, I would need.
Member Ross, would you pass to those, member,
No, I don't have, that's not an objection, I just want to know,
For the
because
motion
we have
papers, sir.
requests of people asking us to do demonstration, and who have already committed to
But
them.
those,
I wouldn't want to not,
okay, but
Yeah,
I
two
meant the
motions.
motion down below.
we have already committed to, we will continue,
No
okay.
new ones.
Okay, I could live with that.
Yeah.
Mr. Volkers, can you assist us here? Mr. Volkers? Is it done as a roll call?
Demonstrations.
I see so far.
Yes.
Okay.
Pass the 15. Any requests?
But that we honor those that we have right now.
Let me take a look at the calendar.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's just coming that I close it.
So you're writing 2 motions there. The one you just had about Chamber, you need that? That lost, and then you need to write the other one.
Madam Chair,
This is roll call.
in the essence of time,
Well, I'm gonna go ahead.
I need to see that the motion is ready.
Okay.
This is roll call. This is the
So we did Pennant, and then Claudette is the one that would do the state lands. H, the ballot general election, so we go to that and wait for the, member, but a lot of people hold your motion until, okay. Go back to H,
I don't want the quorum to be lost.
well, that's what we're moving ahead.
We don't have any demonstration after the 15th, but we do have trainings that we will have to use the machine to demonstrate.
That's different.
That's a different.
And then taking them out to show
Now, what
somebody.
you said is not accept any more requests.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way,
You gotta focus.
Balance and.
Oh, the balance for general
Balance and
election now
general
is
election,
what?
I went over that in my report and I said, but you
I
have
just wanted if
any
anybody had
questions?
any questions,
Any other
comments, or
areas about the
concerns.
general election?
Okay, my understanding is that the balance employed
Will be coming.
are available.
Sample
balance
Sample
is up.
today, yes.
Yeah, the sample balance is available. It's employed already.
St. Thomas have the sample balance.
They have those.
So,
And
Mr.
then-
Wilkins would get some of these over here from Mr. Alexander,
Yes.
because he didn't have it before.
And the general election ballot is prepared.
Should be here next
Should be in it soon.
When next week, are you sure? I mean, can you tell?
No, I don't know what they mean.
Okay, any other question about the balance, the sample, or the one you're gonna use the general election? And Dr. Coverdale, I think, did an excellent job with coverage, but now we need to, we'll probably say it from now, but the numbering system, I didn't know that it was different. So how we do it here, until she said that to me. Yes. Okay,
Pending litigation,
well, that was with,
no, that's next.
oh, yes,
Again, the one for Haynes, I think we had a Haynes.
just a minute. Haynes, yes.
I think the one for Haynes, based on the Attorney General office, they submit to dismiss the case. We have not heard anything on it, whether it was dismissed or not, so that one is still pending. The one for Caulfield and Canigata, that was sent to the next level, which is the US Supreme Court. So I think you all saw that in the newspaper. The last one we had is Brian and Hanson this week, and we should be hearing an update from Judge Brady today. There was two parts to it: the contempt of court that was not that was kind of shown out, and the other one was Hanson enforcing the Superior Court order. So we should hear something on that today. That's the only ones that I know of pending. That's the only ones that I have pending right now.
Chief,
Any-
for the clarification for the first litigation, you said it was Haynes.
That's the one about the primary and the weather.
Oh,
Being in
okay.
St. John and everything. So everybody got copies of those
Yes.
before, so we
And
prepared.
that was dismissed.
Well, that's what they submit to be dismissed. They haven't gotten
Oh, they haven't
anything on
gotten
it yet.
it.
Any feedback from the court.
And where is the contempt? You said that's going to be decision
That was
today.
Tuesday, the decision should be today.
And also the Hanson decision should be today also. Okay, now that our secretary is back, the motion you have written it, Member Hendricks wrote it? Or please read it. And then there was a question from Member Hendricks that she had covered. Any objection? Hearing none, okay, it's so ordered. There was another one? No, the one was from Sean one? That was discussed and just voted on? Also, we're done, we're moving right ahead. All right, the next thing, Member George, you have to put on different act now.
Madam Chief.
What time is your flight?
Right now. Well, now, I've been 2 o'clock, but I got here an hour ahead.
So you have to leave now, it's one.
Yeah, but I need to get plan B done.
Oh, you have a motion for that? Okay, you want to give your motion now? Member Ross is going to do that?
Plan, well, it will be done plan B, right? Motion.
Second.
Second.
What is the motion?
What is the
Yeah, well, the motion is to instruct the supervisor to give us guidelines for Plan B, write up Plan B, and we will decide at a later date.
Plan B of what?
Can I have you?
Go ahead.
Fix it up a little.
Because we don't have legal team. The motion is that the supervisor be directed to come up with a plan B for the storage and security of the ballots of the blue boxes in case we don't get the blue boxes in a timely fashion. Am I correct? Along the lines we discussed today.
Okay.
Which was
Put it in paper like this.
What I'm saying, I had two options. Again, I know St. Thomas District did discuss that, they don't think we need the blue boxes. St. Croix discussed we need the blue boxes. So then here I am in the middle, So we need to decide what we're doing it jointly or we're not doing it jointly.
Jointly.
No, but,
What was it?
Or is it district specific?
no,
No,
No, no,
jointly.
we didn't need anything, well, anyway, I mean, that's.
No, we did say the same thing, you know.
Then we approve the supplies
Yes.
as a board, as a
In
joint
September.
Yeah.
that's what I was about to say.
That was approved, yes.
Even though we started out with two different positions,
Correct.
at the September meeting of the joint board, we agreed to purchase.
Right.
So it's a joint board policy. The question is if that
There are
policy
some, yes.
doesn't come in because they are unable to send us, we need a plan B, which I think both boards members who contribute to the discussion have agreed that we follow the suggestions of
That
the
you
committee.
did.
And motions that we put in writing so that we don't have a lapse of memory. Come November 5th, and do something different.
We want to be on the
So
same
the
page.
onus is on you, Mrs. Ford. Okay.
Plan
Any
B.
objection to the motion? Mr. Member Bowling seconded that and Member Ross made it?
Yes, good, that,
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. Very good. Moving right ahead. Do I need to move from here so you can do this, okay? State plan, we have copies that you can look at. Probably, Member Bowman, you could.
Via email, go to the email.
Okay, the decision take one, you probably know what's so many. Email your copy.
I need a hard copy.
I don't blame you, I don't have right to that.
So this presentation is for information purposes only?
Yeah,
We don't need to vote?
Safe trip.
we have to, yes, we have to approve it before it goes out for public comment. The joint board approves it, then it goes for public comment, right? And there's a certain amount of days for public comment.
30 days.
30 days, yes.
On behalf of the ERA Committee, which is the Election Reform Advisory Council, I am presenting the state plan in a draft form. Yes, Member Bellado, I have a hard copy, so you can take it back to the chair in St. Croix. And also, I would like to recognize Member Webster, who is in the room, who is my co-chair. And he will get his hard copy to take with him back to St. Croix. It will be emailed. This draft has to have a 30-day review, public comment. It's going to be placed on the, it is going to be placed on the website, vivote.gov. And we're also going to make sure we have a copy in the office, the two offices, that the public can come in and review.
Question,
With the,
point of information,
with the Legion of Member, hold on, we don't have a.
Well, you have two choices right now, Chair. You can either call it back and make a
Did he need to
motion,
register?
or, and
He's still in the building?
motion.
Ask him to come to
Have a pending
accept it.
motion. Right, right. And I continue the president.
may I,
Member
point of
Ross?
information, I appreciate that the judge's hastiness. I'm procedural free sometimes. The board, this is a presentation that has to come to the board.
Yes. Accept
And
it.
in draft form, the board has to accept it and then put it up for public comment.
Yes, for 30 days.
I'm trying to get the procedure right. It doesn't go from the committee to public comment.
No.
We're a board rule.
No. I mean, you're correct.
So again, I appreciate Ms. George's desire to get her work done. We can't approve it without the board.
I thought it's
And that's why
necessary.
he's here.
So basically,
We could accept it if he's still here,
He's coming.
I understand it.
but we can't do anything else.
I just want to be clear, because, I mean, sometimes, the reason why we get in trouble is because we all get
I'm in the room. Okay.
Motion to accept the state plan as presented for, well, for, we're gonna have this accepting it, we got it. We're not saying we read it. I'm not saying that we read it, unless you saw it before. Accept means you got it in your hand. Or you have a copy or an email, that's all accept means.
we receive it.
Right, yes.
I received it on behalf of the board.
Second that we receive it. Right?
So the steps that would come after this, we have to review, the joint board has to review. Then we have to say whether we want changes or anything else that they have to be done. And then we have to approve it to go out to public comment. So there's a lot of steps still left. We just have it till that's all we've done.
So if I leave the room, what?
Are you agreeing with receiving it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in received?
Yeah.
Okay. Any objection?
That'll be part of that.
Any objection? No. Thank you. So we received it, member Georges. We're gonna review it, then we'll come back to a board meeting and approve it with corrections or revisions or whatever.
Right.
Then it
Sorry,
will go
people, I
out.
don't mean to break the quorum.
And or at our December meeting.
That's not my December meeting, so we do that.
I didn't break the quorum on purpose.
Motion put on. Yes, we can have 2 minutes to get lunch and come and see the same plan up here.
Oh,
So let everybody go get their lunch. And then we'll come back and see. Right there, yeah. And then we could look at this here. So we can have, yes, 5 minutes.
that's not.
Not the easiest.
Everybody got one of these?
Everybody, we didn't make it enough for everybody.
5 minutes to eat. 5 minutes for lunch. They say bring your lunch in. I don't like that.
Listen, tell me.
I use it today for
When is the
How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Mary.
I lost my brother and sister in a month of time. Nobody from the election board even says.
I did. I voted.
You did?
Yeah, I did. Oh, you mean like in a meeting or
I
something?
don't know over here. I didn't.
That's what I'm saying, that you're taking it up.
What, 95 years? 95.
Can we,
There was like what?
the young man was being introduced to me.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'd like to introduce to people. I was excited about the last one. Very excited.
This is Mr. Leiber. He is the chair for the Harbor Subcommittee. So I'd like to make sure that you see who also worked on Iraq. Election reform.
Advisory council.
Advisory council.
I know the part, and this one, can you share with me a 2-minute snap of his credentials?
Oh my God.
3 minutes is a long.
I don't think you have enough time. I think you
I
need to have more time.
do, but
Go ahead, Mr. Leiber.
I'm being introduced to the young man. I'm sure he knows more about me than I know about him, so I want to eat in school.
Okay, sure. Good afternoon. My name is Abdul Leiber. I'm a graduate of Charlotte Mountain High School, class of 2000. I am the class president, and I am a magna cum laude graduate for international business management of University. I taught in South Korea, Indonesia, and China in ESL English. I worked for Senator Ray America for 5 years. I also worked with Senator Alvin Williams. I also worked in the States as a supervisor and the warehouse manager for Raytheon Aircraft Hardware Company and Sat Air Hardware Company. I have my own business, which is called Soliciting Services. I just completed the first annual report for the legislature, the legislature of the Virgin Islands. So you should be seeing that shortly. And I was able to be a part of this Iraq Council. recently I became the subcommittee chair for HAVA, which was very enlightening for me, and I hope that our contributions, or as a team, I don't really consider as myself, as a team, have contributed to this wonderful, comprehensive state plan that we have. We have looked at other state plans like New York and Georgia and Florida, and we have quite an extensive state plan, so I'm very proud to work on this with our chairperson as well as the vice chair, Mr. Webster. Also, I have dealt with the current and first Youth Advisory Council that we started for the legislature of the Virgin Islands. So that's a little bit about me, and you can learn a little bit more of me on LinkedIn.com. Here, I can give you that later on. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
No, I have no problems with it. No problem.
I know you don't, that's what
Okay, we move on. This is the cover. Yes, the word draft. You're going to see the word draft with a stamp on because we had to make copies of the document, or that was done on the computer. Why is the word draft there? Because as you are aware, it has to go through the board and then it has to be vetted through the public for public opinion and comments for approximately 30 days. The first page after the cover, that has all 4 Virgin Islands.
That's another question I want to is I want to know about Water Island.
That is Water Island.
About here, what are we going to do about it?
Oh, that's a different story. Then we start off with the pictures of St. Croix. Into the table of contents, starting with the disclosure statement, letter from the Joint Board of Election Chairperson, and yes, I would like letters and pictures from the district board chairperson, so that can be placed in the booklet after. There's also a letter from myself, letter from the supervisor of election, the council members, the acknowledgement of the past state plan, because this is the second revision. We also have information concerning the Board of Elections, the scope, overview, mission statement, and goal. That's for both the supervisor of election as well as for the Board of Election. The executive summary, the introduction, the voting system standards, funding, distribution, control, election, the budget, that's 2013 to 15, management plan, performance goals, that's from 2008 to 2014, audit and controls, voting requirements, inspection of records. We also have a good bit of pictures in here referring to our current ID that we use. And those of you who don't know, we have a new apparatus that will be coming in soon. We have a picture of that. We also have a picture of the one that we're using. We have training, the administrative complaint, and these things are germane. And if you even look in the previous HAVA Act and the first one that was originally done, yes, the complaint was in there referring to the administrative procedure. We have the HAVA Group introduction statement and then the breakdown by titles and subsections in accordance to the law. We also move into the MOVE Act, which you know was introduced in this year's 30th legislature. Because that's how we're sending the ballots out in a timely manner to our overseas persons. We have their introduction statement, their breakdown, the VI code, the same thing. Move into their breakdown, the HAVA audit, that's the one for 2013 that was done, closing statements, and then of course we go into the appendix, which if you notice, there's several things lined up in there. We've touched on the Organic Act, the Voters Bill of Rights, the Voters Guide, Voters Registration Card, which I previously mentioned, the current Voters Identification Card, which I also mentioned, the current and future voter identification card apparatuses, which I previously mentioned, the voting machines, which are the voting apparatuses that we are using currently in 2014. We also have a screenshot of various national websites as well as our own, the vote.gov. And we have election fraud complaint form and log. That's a new form in accordance to HAVA that we just placed that document inside of our state plan. We have the Organic Act as it deals with Public Law 99-396, which is on the recall initiative. We also have the U.S. polling place accessibility survey. We had the last one that was done in 2010. Now we have one for 2014. We also have the 2014 post-primary and general election surveys. Those are two documents that have currently been introduced during this election. We move on and we talk about the official calendar, the statistical breakdown of voters, which we can get from Power Profile. We did one for all 3 islands. We have the Act of 684. That deals with the establishment of the Territorial Elections Fund, which exists, and that's in accordance to HAVA, Provisional Ballot Voting, Absentee Ballot Voting, Act 743, which was formerly Bill 330370, pertaining to early voting. We also have the timeline chart for HAVA requirements under 301, and we have a special list of appendix. That list deals with other documents that have been created or revised or exist within the system, and it's just giving everybody an opportunity to see exactly where it is and to research it for themselves by asking questions of the system. And we also have our reference and sources.
Do you know the
We ain't enough people.
places where the post office, where else? Library, post
It could go
office.
post office,
Well,
library.
yeah, John, when
you can all refer to
they leave.
When they leave.
Okay, and definitely the website. And I would have one in the office, one in St. Thomas and also St. John. We don't forget St. John. So we need 3 copies for the offices.
Yeah, immediately.
I'm just going to keep moving.
Right,
You know, we just we did a disclosure statement of which it has all the information pertaining to how to get in contact with the election system. Yes. Yes.
It may be here, but I'm impressed with the table of contents but since I don't intend to be here forever, I was wondering if I could be given the alumni out of board members recognition by having a page like this.
Oh, I'm getting to that. You're jumping ahead. You just wanted to get to that. It could be here. That was so smart. It could be there. What page is that again? But okay. But let's be honest. Okay, Member Ross, I apologize to you. Your predecessors, who you probably assigned and worked with, referring to members of the previous state plans, were recognized in the book. I do not have Member Rupert Ross' name in the book, so I can make note of that and make that addition.
Again, as I said.
Because you were chair, were you not?
Audio plus, I said that,
I become class.
I mean, it's in the end of my lifespan. So
Yeah, so every little bit.
all the my accomplishments are doing I said I'm up for re-election.
I understand.
Let me hit John.
I understand. No? Okay. This is Water Island pictures. These photos depict Water Island. Okay, this is the letter that has been submitted by the joint board chair. After her letter, that's where the chair for the St. Croix and respectively and St. Croix and St. Thomas with a picture, like a picture. This is a letter from myself as the chair. This is a letter from the supervisor of election. Now you understand why there were no pictures of my letters for the fit anyhow. And because I had so much to say, we went ahead and we placed pictures in the state plan and our positions of ourselves. Mr. Maurice Donovan was in here earlier, and I'd like to recognize him, and he also had a dead in his family. And then this is the acknowledgement of the persons who worked on the state plan 2003 and 2009. We call them our trailblazers. This is the proposed organizational chart for the election system. This is dealing with the scope overview, the goals and performance measures pertaining to the Board of Election, when it started, what they're trying to do. Most of that information you'll find in the budget book. And then we have the Board of Elections coming up. Supervisor election, just did the board. My bad.
You have something
We just
for
did
Miss
the board.
Yeah, you see
Henrietta
that
talk?
picture?
Huh? No, I didn't.
You see our picture?
Oh, there's something you can.
But they know it again. This is St. John, Aruba.
Give me a photo at the first.
Sure, but,
This is the executive summary. In the executive summary, I also talked about the things that we have done referring to 2014, our new machines, the type of training that we've been receiving, with the introduction. These are pictures of St. Thomas. Voting standards, voting system standards, of which it's in accordance to section 301 of the Harbor Act. We also talk about the privacy and independence for voters, especially those who would be physically challenged. We also talk about the ballot correction and replacement of ballots, because there are certain things under the Harbor Act that you have to do. Then we have the accessibility again for people. In this document, there's a lot of things mentioned pertaining to disability. Funding and distribution control. We talked about that, including the election fund. That's in accordance to HAVA, why Title 33 had to be updated. And that was updated in 2003. No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay, then this is the estimated ballot, the estimated budget that was done. The monies really do not change. We did cover 2003. We covered the different sections of the HAVA Act, which is 101, section 102. We have section 252, 257, Title 2 funds, which was 2008, and then the 5% state match. We talked of this is also the information for 2004 pertaining to the various prime accounts, your professional services, training, advertising, promotion, your printing and binding. Yes, they'll be buying. They're referring to the box. Transportation, travel, and other services. You're looking at a 1.5 million right there. We also have the management plan. That's also in accordance to the Harbor State Plan and performance goals. If you notice that we use those terms, performance goals, overview, those things come, this is a sidebar, those things come from how the budget is being done in Washington, D.C., federal budget. And what happens with the feds, they set the standards and they're doing performance-based budgeting. They set the standard and everybody else follows, especially if they're receiving grants from them. They have to follow their guidelines, and most of the time, businesses, local and, we call it state state government with the local government. State government, they would go ahead and implement exactly what the feds are doing. So one, it can make it easier for themselves to get their money, and two, to also keep track and mirror exactly how the feds are operating.
I still want to know that one.
I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. We did fiscal year 2008, 9, 10, and 14. We didn't concentrate so much on 12. Ms. Fox was not here, but we were able to get, when she was there, which would be the 2014 information. Move on. Audits and internal controls. We have to talk about that in accordance to HAVA. You know that we did have an audit that is in this booklet, that took place in 2013. Continue. This document is a document that we have for voters. And yes, I know you're going to say it, because usually you talk about the Spanish community, and you know who I'm talking to. I too am concerned about the Spanish community, because just like Member Ross, I have part Puerto Rican. So I will definitely look out for the Spanish community, and I'm going to tell you something. When this is done, I want to not only have a book in Spanish for the Spanish community, but I think we should go ahead and do one in French. I know everybody talk about I know.
I'm learning.
Okay. And I did put the two of
Good translators.
so we can be in Spanish. And I think also the EAC can help us out too. As we move on up, also the inspection of public records, that is noted in there, so people know exactly what to do. Sorry. And then our computerized territory-wide voters registration program. We not only have the e-poll books, which were those that were implemented from the 2010 election. But this time when we did 2014, we used that e-poll book only instead of the big ledgers that we usually be flipping while people are looking for their picture and what have you inside. We did use that, yes. But we also have Power Provide software. That's what the young ladies are placing all of the voters in. So you can go out there with the e-poll book and you are able to find a voter. We have it here on this system and we have it within the office. Could you please proceed? You'll see why. I don't even have. There's the graphic. That's one. That's more or less how it looks. It's a close-up shot. Sorry that it's on the side. Continue moving up. You're there. And then we have one there. This came from ES&S. It is filled out with a fictitious name and everything else that goes with that, just so you can get an idea how it looks when it's filled out. And then the last picture is the far picture, so you can see what it looks like and what icons everyone is pressing on when they're looking for the information. Proceed.
Power profile, the privacy and integrity of people's personal information is protected.
Yes.
And so you say that this information will be on the website?
Referring to the privacy?
No, whatever. I was eating and listening at the same time, so I apologize again. I'm concerned about, we have information that the elector must give to us in order
right, like cell phone
numbers, for them to vote.
Well, they don't give the social security, they give the passport.
So I'm concerned making sure that we don't, in our public records, we don't put information in there.
The answer is no.
That the elector privacy is.
Right, the answer is no, and the reason why I say the
I don't
answer.
think so, because in the e-poll.
Answer is no. You want to answer?
No, you answer.
You and I go answer from two different angles. Go ahead.
In the e-poll vote, right? The person who's working in the e-poll vote, you have access to policy to those person.
But remember, we have hired them to do that.
Correct. And
That's their job that day, and they swear.
They swear under law that they violate that confidentiality.
That they have a
They go to
problem.
jail.
Right, they have a big
That's a
problem.
different issue. I'm talking about John 2 probably because they're sitting in Seattle, Washington, going to our our
The answer
website
is
and
no.
accessing people's information. So we have, whatever we put out there in the public domain has to be a privacy.
Correct. And even when we send information to the candidates do not get the full numbers, for example.
Does that cost?
And there is, okay, the first one is free, and there is a cost of $100 for the second one, or more.
I'm sorry to.
No problem, I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Training. Besides, I identified besides Power Profile, equal book 5,000. The DS200, which is the new machine that we're using in Audemars. We also did training for not only full-time staff, but part-time employees. And we had training not only the voting apparatuses that I mentioned and software, but we also did medical and communication. We are getting ready to do signing courses, so we can communicate with those who are hearing impaired. We also have CPR training.
There is a way. That is the committee that you're the chairman of.
No. It was conducted in this district. Before you even say anything concerning St. Croix, if 9 times out of 10 you want to call that a pilot, call it a pilot. But we have had training in
I'm
this
not
district.
concerned about
Okay.
training. I'm concerned about it was done, you chair the territory.
Right.
And that training was under you trying to.
No, it was under the district.
Under the district, based on this draft.
Yeah.
So we, now that we are having access to this draft, because, everybody shared that, he didn't share it to us. We could begin to do what you want to do.
Yes.
I just want you to be, don't keep on your territorial hat and stay away from this.
You said nothing, right? Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, then we have the administration complaint procedure. And then we have the HAVA and the MOVE Act, of which those things were identified, explained, terminologies, websites, background information, whatever term you want to use. We went ahead and we did that, and we made sure that we all understand that it's under public law, and what the public law is. Move on. Then we start with the introduction statement for the HAVA Act. I'm going to tell you right now what we decided to do was use a similar format which was implemented by our predecessors using a chart. Why did we use a chart? Because the law is quite extensive, and our predecessors, they had put excerpts in. We put everything in so everybody can see the entire law. There are things that are not germane to the Virgin Islands, and if we would have it written in there that it doesn't apply to us. And the things that do apply to us, when we made the leaps and bounds, we put that in, and what we need to still have work on, that is placed in there. So, and if I'm not mistaken, it's over 90 pages. Over 90 pages with a section alone.